Buongiorno, Tom here from Different Drop, and here with Mark Lloyd from Coriole and McLaren Vale, and we're talking about Sangiovese. Sangiovese. So Italian variety that's, well, probably the best known Italian variety in Australia, I'd say, and one that's, there's a lot of other Italian grapes coming in now, but Sangiovese's been there for a while, and in my opinion, I think Coriole is probably right at the top of the tree when it comes to Sangiovese. The 13 is fantastic, mate. What can you tell us about the variety, Mark? What are the usual sort of characters in the variety, and where do you see its place in Australia?
Well, it's certainly the savoury one. I mean, there's lots of savoury Italians, but for us, Sangiovese is the thing that is exciting and really suits McLaren Vale. We've tried a couple of other things, but we've given up on those. So it's just so different. It's not an easy grape, I don't think. So typically it's one of those wines that you often have. You would never win a medal with it. It's a wine that you have on its own. You go, and then of course when you sit with the right food, it just changes.
And that's what it's all about, isn't it? With food.
Yeah, exactly. And so we saw it as being, or initially I planted it because I wanted to do something different. Why went in the Italian varieties? I didn't like the French. They were blowing up bombs in the Pacific and not taking arrogant French and not taking any notice of anybody. So it was sort of a bit of a theoretical decision, and hardly tasted any. In fact, in those days, Italian wines weren't very good. People didn't really go for them. Italian restaurants were little traditional restaurants with Italian flags, not the sort of paradigm of style that they are now. And the typical Italian restaurateur was terrible because if there was a cheaper Chianti this week, that's what he bought. And so nobody had any opinion, and there was no reason why they had a high opinion of Italian grapes. But things were changing in Italy, and I didn't realise. I planted in '85. And then when I went in '88, sort of family holiday with two or three young kids, I got in to see the head winemaker of Antinori. He was like, I somehow got in, I don't know how, but anyway, he gave me 5 minutes, but I was there 2 hours later. And he was like exasperated because there was all this potential. There was these little bits of great wines coming out, but their vineyards were a mess. And they had this whole project, 2000, Chianti Gamma 2000, I think it was called, to improve, get much better clones and to get much better things happening in Tuscany.
Yep. And we've seen that in Australia now too with clones, haven't we? That there's I'm no expert on clones, but there's definitely, from guys I've spoken to, they're taking and ripping up certain things and grafting in other clones that seem to give a bit more kind of depth and structure.
Yeah, and we've it's never an easy story. We've toed and froed on that, and we've planted clone that we thought was Brunello, which was fantastic. It was not so good, and maybe the original clone was better. And then we planted new clones, which we're excited about. So I think for us, the story is to have a range of a variety like Sangiovese, but very, very savoury, lovely sort of slightly red fruit and nice sort of lift, and great ability to age. Not that we necessarily do, and just a gorgeous balance with lots of things you want to drink. That glass of wine when you just walk away and thinking, well, I didn't necessarily have a glass of wine. It was a glass of wine with food. It wasn't a glass of wine. It was it was an experience together.
An ingredient in the meal.
And so that way it fits a little bit differently as well.
Beautiful.
So,
well, guys,
wonderful variety.
Yeah, if you're looking to try out Sangiovese, you can't go past Coriole. Value for money too, and yeah, it's a bit of a maligned variety in some regards, I think, but now I think you're seeing a real shift back to quality and structure.
It is,
and
Tom, one of the most difficult varieties we have to deal with. It really takes a lot of work getting clones right. It's not an easy. Lots of things are easy compared with Sangiovese.
Yeah, well, please keep it up because I love it. I mean, the top end Vita as well, fantastic. So, all right, mate, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Pronto.